Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to get into another discussion about the Zenless Zone Zero community, about the game itself. Because one thing that is extremely accurate about Zenless Zone Zero is that it's done a really, really good job at ruining the experience of either new players or new content creators to the space. And this is the thing, guys. I'm not saying this out of my ass, because I'm going to show you all something that I've shown quite often when it comes to this game, and that's going to be its statistics on Twitch. And so what you'll notice over here is that this game, ladies and gentlemen, it hasn't really seen very much growth at all over the course of its launch, right? It had a ton of viewers back in June of 2024 when it launched. Shit ton of viewers, right? Hitting the 13Ks, and then it's just basically gone all the way downhill from there. Having a bit of recovery back in 1.4 when Miyabi and the soft relaunch of the game, the soft reboot occurred, and then it just proceeded to lose all those players again, and then hit the lowest numbers it ever had in the history of the game during 1.7. And a big part of it is, yes, the game having some issues in terms of like its story, in terms of like its overall new player experience, all of that. But another big issue is the fact that its community, the one that remained, because let's be honest here, the players that are left that are still watching this game, making up its community, commenting on Twitch, it's one of the worst communities that we have in this space. A lot of people, they see what's going on, they see how these people act, they see how the viewers will respond to comments, respond to critique, respond to criticism, and they don't actually want to play the game. They don't want to join it, and they don't want to make content about it. We've already had creators like Sekapoko, who are on the record quitting the game, refusing to make content about it, uninstall it actually live on stream, because they got harassed by the community when they tried to stream it. And unfortunately, right, it's a growing trend. There's actually been some records of Nicholas Light, one of the big upcoming gacha creators in the space, who's a big fan of Wuthering Waves, facing a similar, not necessarily to the level of Sekapoko, but a similar level of backseating and annoying viewers that has diminished his overall experience. And so we got this video by Glaive Keo over here. Nicholas Light tried Zenless and it went terribly wrong. And guess what? I stream this game very regularly, and I get to see firsthand the issues that this community causes. And so I'm ready to see what Glaive's take is on the matter, because I'm sure he's brought a lot of receipts. So let's go ahead, let's get right on into it.
So, I will play it offline. I will give it a chance. Telling me that's why you read? The thing about these games that I really gotta get used to is that there's a lot of to read. The titty jiggle physics alone had me reeled in. And the dog that wanted me, Howl is his name, that was pretty cool. That was fun.
You didn't level up, dude. Let him play.
Because I've been trying to dive into furryism as of late. I've been respecting furries more often lately. No, I like Woowa like right away. I'm just being honest. Like gacha, stupid fan wars. Like, oh, he doesn't like it because he doesn't pay attention. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. And it's like, bro, I don't want to do all that.
I don't know when the Zenless Zone Zero community flipped like this, because I remembered it being good. Like, genuinely. People were hyped, the meme videos were flying, stuff like, how much milk can Nicole produce? Or, is Ellen Jo's mouth capable of suction? It was chaotic in the best way. It felt like a fan base that didn't take itself too seriously, which is what most people should do with these gacha games anyway. But now, it's become something else. Elitist, overbearing, and straight up hostile to anyone not already playing at an expert level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What these people in the community don't seem to recognize is that a majority of gacha players are actually casual, and clearing the endgame as a casual player is something that actually is generally a goal for most people. The goal for most people when they play a game is to beat it, and clearing the endgame, clearing the Deadly Assault, clearing the Shiyu Defense 7, that is considered like the final boss of the game. And the way that these gacha games keep it fresh is to go ahead and reset those modes every couple of weeks to ensure that there's always that end game boss, that final boss that players are able to beat. Otherwise, if it never refreshed, they lose the motivation to keep on playing because there's no more of like that goal, right, for them to work towards. And when you go ahead and you make this goal super unachievable unless you're willing to either spend a fuck ton of money and pull the newest character and then make the endgame modes a complete joke because you pulled the newest character, or play the game like a job, you really do damage to the casual player base. And it's just very strange to see these players kind of like go full on board with like the whole shill situation and just be like, yeah, it's fine that they're making it super tailored around the new units. Yeah, just go ahead and just get better at the game, bro. Who cares that they're giga shilling the newest on-banner stuff? Just get better and be like me. I play for 7 hours a day practicing my rotations. And it's just like, bro, that you had to be stupid if this is the argument you're making. But there are so many people in this community making it.
Bro, y'all are telling me that's why you read? The thing about these games that I really got to get used to is that there's a lot of to read, especially in these gacha games where you literally press start play on the game and you're literally like shot with a machine gun of info. Read this, read that, read this, read that. Like it's insane. So
ZZZ's tutorials are fucking ridiculous. I'll just show you firsthand how absolutely fucking terrible ZZZ's tutorials are. Straight up. I need to open up the game for this. They might have the worst tutorials in gacha gaming. I don't think anyone has actually gone into, like, the mode where you try out the units. It's not good. It's actually an information overload, and it's just like, I know you get 20 polychromes for doing it. They're so long and so wordy, I don't even want to do them. I'll show y'all firsthand exactly what I'm talking about. You just go into, and then you do, like, the character tutorial, and you'll just be like, good God, what is this? The final callback, right? Okay, alright, here we go, right? Let's just start the demo right now. Get ready for this, guys. I already want to leave. It's literally frame 1, I already want to leave. When in combat, Lighter automatically gains morale over time. When any squad member consumes energy, Lighter also gains morale. Lighter can store up to 100 morale. When his morale reaches 80, he will launch a quick assist the next time he switches onto the field. If his morale is 80 or higher, Lighter... This is literally frame 1. When you when you open up, like, the thing to get the 20... Alright, guys. Boom. Alright, here we go. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Was that enough? I don't even think I need to show anymore. We were just explaining the passive part of the character's kit, by the way. We were just explaining the passive part of the character's fucking kit. You want to know what the Woo-Wah tutorial looks like? Alright, I need to show what the Woo-Wah tutorial looks like in comparison then. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done right. We got 2 literal essays that we had to read. Let me show you what Wuthering Waves has for their Chacona trial. And in advance, my apologies for showing the better game. This is the tutorial for the newest limited character. It's like night and day. You don't need to read every single word in the character's kit. You get a really, really short, succinct, basic rundown of how to use her. The core mechanics. You're given directions on different combos that you get to use. And then you just play. And then you just use the unit. You get to just use the unit. That's it. That is how you get the Astrite. That's how you try it out. So yeah. That's the difference between them. Pull up the tutorial. I'm not gonna. No, there's no point in pulling up the tutorial because you have to pull the unit to pull up the tutorial. You have to pull the unit to be able to do it. I'm telling you that that's the trial one. I'm not pulling up the other one over here because you have to pull the unit to have access to it. Isn't the ZZZ one the same or different? No, it's not even close to the same. Again, you don't get this if you don't pull the unit. I'm telling you, that's the first impression. That's the look of the character. And guess what, guys? That's what people that are new to the game are going to do. They're going to do both of those. The ZZZ one is a fucking essay, which is awful for new players, just trying to figure out what to do and how to learn it. And then the Woo-Wah one is super sweet, super simple, and is actually like what it should be for a trial one, to show you what a character is capable of.
When y'all are telling me to read, I'm picking and choosing what I'm reading. So of course I'm not gonna know how to do everything, you know? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and read every word. Like, I'm not here to do that.
Nicholas Light TV streamed the game recently, and as a content creator myself, it was honestly brutal to watch. Not because the game was bad, but because the second he booted it up, the chat turned into a checklist. Non-stop commands. You missed it. You are trash at the game. Oh my god, Perry. Oh, do this. This is so hard to watch. Dude, you might think that's advice, but it's just noise, man.
Awful. Awful. This is why nobody wants to play the game. People say, oh, Twitch viewership doesn't matter. It really does. It really does. Because a lot of people will see a person like Nicholas Light playing the game. A lot of people will see content creators, right, who normally main one game or another, play ZZZ, and they may be like, damn, maybe I want to play ZZZ too and try it out. But then everybody stops because playing this game on Twitch exposes you to some of the worst fucking communities you've ever seen in gacha.
And he couldn't even breathe before getting told how to play every second of it, up to a point where he's actually just done with it. It's like people weren't listening, because if you haven't realized yet, the vibe wasn't helpful, it was condescending. People acting like he was an idiot for not instantly mastering a game that throws walls of tutorials at you before you even care about the world or the characters. I wanted this game to succeed. I still do, but this stuff matters. If this is how the community treats someone just trying to learn, someone with a big platform and a lot of goodwill, then what is that to say for regular players? Let's talk about it. So you can see the moment the disconnect kicks in. Nick is trying to get his bearings in Zenless Zone Zero, poking around, soaking things at its own pace, and chat immediately floods with, click that, oh you missed something, oh you're trash, like you read it yourself, right? And like maybe it comes from a good place, but you can tell it wears him down fast. Is he really struggling with the game? I mean, come on guys, it's the tutorial, and we all remembered how you can play the game literally just button mashing. You know what he's actually struggling with? He is struggling with being watched while he learns, and instead of getting a minute to figure out what each button does, he's got people backseat driving every second like he's defusing a bomb, and then he breaks it down in a way that is honestly kind of raw.
No, I like Woowa like right away. I'm just being honest, like gotcha, stupid fan wars, because I know ZZZ fans.
Well, I think a big part about it is that Woowa kind of just, it's got relatively easy to pick up mechanics. The complexity comes from the enemies not picking out the mechanics. What do you do in Woowa, right? You press your skill, you wait for the cooldown to come back up. Sometimes you got a forte circuit that maybe is a little bit... The forte circuit is probably the most complicated part of the character to like use and activate. But yeah, you use your skill, you do all of that. And then when you're ready to switch, you literally hear the bing from the concerto bar being filled. And then you see the 1, 2, 3 on your team. You see the icons start glowing up, right? And then you know you can do a powerful thing when you switch in. And then you just go on that character, do your stuff, bing, and then switch to somebody else. It's very, very, very intuitive for new players to be able to figure out what to do. And then when you parry, you don't have to do some dumb shit like switch to another character to be able to parry. I still think that that is probably the worst, the biggest design miss that ZZZ currently has. And that's why they're adding parry moves to every single unit. That's why Miyabi can parry. That's why Yanagi can parry. That's why so many units in the game now have built-in parries on their baseline kit. Because being forced to switch to another character to parry is just, I think it's one of the worst gameplay mechanics that they forced into the game. Yi Xuan has one too. The fact that they're adding self-parries onto every single unit is kind of just indicative of that. I really think it's something that they should rework immediately.
That watch this might get hurt by that. Like, oh, he doesn't like it because he doesn't pay attention. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. And it's like, bro, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to read every single thing. And yeah, that's how I feel. You're the type of person who doesn't like training wheels. Yeah, I'm more of like, I don't want anybody showing me how to do something. I want to learn myself.
God forbid EO watches this guy's gameplay. He's going to start looking at Nicholas Light doing story quests and then say how he's messing up his rotations. He's been watching Nicholas Light play the main story and be like, dude, you were actually supposed to do a swap back over here, pick up that item, and then animation cancel it into another dialogue. This is how a real pro does the story.
Like, I don't want anybody teaching me how to ride a bike. I wanted to learn myself. I wanted to fall over and over and over again. And then other people were like, oh, just get your dad to show you. Oh, just watch a video. Oh, look at this person. Like, I don't like it. I've always been the type of person to learn by myself.
And these dumb little nerds online will just be telling you,
No, you need to look up a guide for everything before you start playing the game. You need to know exactly 100% of everything that's in a character's kit before you even start trying to pilot them. What are you doing? How could you go in uninformed?
it's like these guys act like instead of playing a video game, we're like driving a truck. Hey guys, if I mess up in this single player video game where you can do a 1-button retry, it's not really that bad. It's not really that bad if I don't know what I'm doing. It's not going to cause any problems. The only person that's going to be affected is me because I will have technically wasted time. But if I'm having fun doing that first time stuff or going in blind, then the time isn't wasted anyways. So why does it matter? It's not like I'm first timing a character in like a ranked competitive mode and griefing 4 other teammates by not knowing what my kit. This is a single player game, but people are treating it like some fucking super competitive shit. And that is the community of Zenless Zone Zero. That is what has been cultivated by them making the game so elitist, removing so many casual components, and then promoting all of these losers in the community whose only striking accomplishment in their life is getting a 1-minute Shiyu defense clear. They've done nothing else of note. It's actually pathetic. And these are the people getting elevated in the community. It's so pathetic, it's unbelievable.
I hate people teaching me. It's the reason why I didn't go to college. The reason why I dropped out, right? Or the reason why I was bad in school. Because I don't like being, like, told to, like... I would learn more home, by myself, in my room, doing math, than in the math class. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm not good, like, with training wheels or someone telling me how to play. Like Wuthering Waves, I looked up every now and then for you guys to give me tips. But overall, I feel like I know how to play the game at this point, you know? But yeah, I'm just being honest. I don't know.
And again, that's because Wuwa is so intuitive to pick up, and ZZZ is not. Yet, just the idea of having to switch your character to be able to parry is one of the most unintuitive fucking things on Earth. That just doesn't make sense.
I don't know if this game's for me right now. Maybe because I'm playing Wuthering Waves. Am I dropping the game? No. But, like, I feel like I'll play this offline until I really understand it.
I think he officially dropped it. I don't want to confirm that. Maybe chat knows. I do think he actually dropped it completely.
And then when I understand it, I might do a stream like just playing it, right? But yeah, I don't know, man.
You can look at it yourself. Yeah, and what he said, like, that stuck with me, right?
Check this video comment. I completely forgot that ZZZ had the longest tutorial in gacha history. Games are meant to be fun, not a chore. Wuwa made him curious, while ZZZ made him furious. Okay, Dr. Seuss.
Because it's not just about the gameplay. It is how he approaches everything. Like school, college, life. He's never been the kind of...
Nicholas commented? Wait, where? I will give it another chance? Oh, okay. Alright. Okay, buddy boy.
person who learns by being told. And when you put someone like that in front of a game that is already overloaded with tutorials, systems, and pop-ups, and then add that, like, you know, 1,000 people just chatting non-stop, overloaded with like yelling instructions, like, that is not helpful. That is just chaos. What we are seeing here isn't...
He should just set the chat to emote only. Basically, if the chat is an emote only when Nicholas Light is playing it, you know that the ZZZ retards are in there. This is the thing. Actually setting your chat on emote only when you're getting backseated in ZZZ is the fastest way to get these idiots to leave. Because you want to know, like, it's a shocking phenomenon. There's so little things that they have to, like, talk about or, like, feel value for that they just have to, like, exhibit their mastery, their knowledge, their superiority in this single player game over other people. And that is how they're finding fulfillment, because they have literally nothing else that they can talk about. Literally nothing else that they can contribute. They just have to talk about how good they are, how much better they are, how much more knowledgeable they are, and how lacking the other person is. And it's just like, brother, what are we doing here? Are we really this pathetic?
Just Nick being frustrated. It is a very real tension between how a creator wants to experience a game and how their audience think that they should experience it. And when that audience gets a little bit too confident, a little too elitist, that tension turns toxic. And then Nick compared his experience to when he played Wuthering Waves. Nick picked that game up and within what, 20 minutes, he was in, locked in, fully immersed.
Because you played it for like 10 hours, Yeah, but Wuthering Waves, like, I was into it from, like, the first 20 minutes.
And probably because the Wuthering Waves community is not fucking annoying when it comes to backseating. Do you want to know the actual backseating that you get in WoWa? You get people telling you on holograms, you need to play slower. Yeah, you're trying to do rotations too much. Hey, just relax and take it slowly, bro. You need to stop trying to sweat so much. They literally tell you to stop playing the game optimally. That's the backseating that occurs.
Like, I was fully into it. If you go back to my stream, I was into it right away, man. And I like the gameplay in this game, but that's why I gotta play more of it. And the more I play of it, I feel like the more I'm gonna start liking it. So maybe this is something where I have to get off the tutorial and then experience the game myself for a bit.
The ZZZ tutorial is probably at least like 30 hours long, if we're frankly being honest. It's about 30 hours long.
And then be like, you know what? I might actually really with this game. But yeah. Yeah, no, I like WoWa like right away.
Yeah, just like he said, he liked the characters, he likes the world. He said it just clicks. And yeah, there is a decent amount of reading, a lot of systems under the hood still, you know, the intro, outro, but it wasn't overwhelming. It felt like a natural climb. It is not a tutorial trench, and that early momentum matters. He wasn't pulled in because someone explained the game to him. He was pulled in because the game made him want to keep going. And that is what a good intro does. It builds curiosity, not confusion. So when you look at Zenless again, wildly different approach. 90 minutes in, and Nick is still stuck in tutorial hell. He is clicking through walls of UI with no clear direction, and you can see the fatigue in real time. Not because the game is bad, but because it is front-loaded in a way that punishes players for not being immediately fluent.
Nikkei might get you banned. I'll put that on there too. I want to try all of them, right? But people get mad like when I watch animes and I drop them after like an episode. They're like, oh, you gotta watch episode 10 to like it. Oh, this guy sucks. He has a short attention span. Nah, bro, if I need 10 episodes to like something, it's not good. It's as simple as that. The first episode should drag me into the anime. The first episode of anything should drag you in. You should
Absolutely.
never make your customers wait for something to get good.
It's really like the new player experience in ZZZ was not good on launch. And with the HP inflation that they've added to the game, it's literally only gotten impressively worse. The game was already hard to get into when the end game was like way easier. In 2.0, the enemies are gonna have 3 times the HP that they had in 1.0. And the tutorial, all that stuff is still going to be there. And so you have even further that you need to go to be able to beat the game. And so a lot of people will just say, oh, well, casuals shouldn't be able to beat the end game. Think about the people that start the game in 2.0. They're not even casuals. They actually are thinking about being like dedicated players. And then they see how far they have to go, how little damage they deal, the type of investment that they need, maxed out skills on everybody, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4 pieces on like every single unit, and they're just like, wait, it's gonna take me like 3, 4, 5, 6 months just to be able to clear Shiyu 7. Not because of anything within my control, but because it literally, the HP is too high. There's gonna be a lot of people that will start the game in 2.0, see how far they have to go to be able to beat the game, which is gonna be way out of the ordinary compared to a lot of other gachas they played before, and just stop playing. Because guess what? I don't think HSR is getting a lot of new players. When they see how little damage their units are doing, I don't think they're gonna go in and get a lot of new players. Because why would you play a game where you're basically being told you will never be able to beat it unless you either spend money or play it for like 6-7 months? I know it's like the whole instant gratification thing, but 6 to 7 months is too fucking long.
I think that's a very lazy decision. And it just tells me I'm not going to like it. And I think it's the same thing with me for games, but I can't judge the game yet because I'm in a tutorial.
I feel like somebody needs to make a video about the ZZZ new player experience. I know like Average Luck Gamer was talking about it, but like, bro, how long does it take you to be able to clear the endgame on a fresh ZZZ account? Genuinely. Why do you think no one's made that video before? Because they probably started and they haven't been able to... They probably started and they haven't been able to do it yet. Wait, that's why no one's made the video yet. Somebody probably started one in version 1.5, and they still can't do it. Because they were probably just like, damn, oh shit, guys, this was probably what happened. This was probably what happened. I know exactly what happened. This is what happened, guys. So, somebody probably tried making that content. Maybe they started in like 1.4. They started like over here, right? And they were trying to figure out, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this, boys. We're gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna start a fresh new account. And you wanna know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna clear the end game on this fresh account. They then proceeded to go on over here. And then as the HP kept going up, they were like, wait, I can't fucking clear. Wait, why can't I fucking clear? Because the HP just keeps going up every single reset. And then they were getting like, they were almost S ranking stuff. And then the HP went up. Now they're 20 seconds behind in S rank. And it just keeps going up. So every single time they're right about to clear, it just keeps going up, bro. It just keeps going up. And they're eventually, it just peaked over here and they weren't able to do it. That's why content like that is taking so long to release. Because the HP inflation is literally a barrier to it. And guys, by the way, my bad. By the way, guys, this was only side 1. This is the real chart. So, believe me, it's not as good as that first one was making it look. Yeah, yeah. This one was really whitewashing the results. That's the reality. Yeah. So, maybe, actually, with the HP inflation that's slated to be in 2.0, maybe we're just never gonna be able to see the new account to S-rank Shiyu 7 clear. I just don't think it's ever gonna be able to functionally happen, because every single time that account gets close, they're just gonna raise the HP again. It's so cooked, brother. It's so cooked.
And I love things about it. I love the gameplay. I love the gameplay of ZZZ. I love the switching out, right? But because there's so much to read, I didn't even read the part where it tells me how to block. I have to ask chat because I...
Don't forget all the TVs and the side content. Oh, right. They removed TVs from the game, and then to be able to progress through the acts and the stories and the chapters, you have to do TVs.
Skipped it. So,
and to his credit, Nick doesn't write it off completely. He even says that maybe he just needs more time.
This is going to be my prediction. Nick might get through, like, chapter 1. As he starts going on the intermission, needs to raise his level and then go into chapter 2. He's going to go through at least, like, 3, 4, 5 consecutive TV modes, TV stages, and then just be like, damn, I kind of want to quit this game. Then he's going to get backseated by people who are defending the TV mode. They'll tell him, oh, you just don't like reading. Oh, like, oh, do you just hate puzzle gameplay? And then he's going to get annoyed so fucking much that he's just going to drop the game completely.
Maybe it'll grow on him, but the damage is already done. It is already comparing it, and that is the problem. Wuwa doesn't just hook him, it set the bar. So
that's going to be my prediction.
Now every gacha game he tries after this has to live up to that first high, and that is not fair. It is also kind of inevitable. First impressions stick, especially in a genre where you are expected to commit hundreds of hours or hundreds of dollars. Wuwa made him curious, Zenless Zone Zero made him feel lost, and that difference shapes everything that comes after. And this is where Zenless Zone Zero really trips over itself. Nick wasn't coming in skeptical. He liked the trailers. He liked the aesthetics. He said outright that he wanted to enjoy the game, but the UI is literally just
They removed the TVs, no? I thought they did a while ago. They did. You don't need to do TVs. You have to do TVs. What do you mean? Oh. The only situation where you don't need to do TVs is if you're willing to only level up through dailies. Yeah, it'll just take you at least a couple of weeks of intermission to go from chapter 1 to chapter 2 then. Unless you're willing to do TVs. Side quests are how you raise your internaut level, and you need to raise your internaut level to be able to go from one chapter to another. What is your kick stream link? My kick stream isn't active right now.
intimidating. It is not even that the systems are bad, they just don't breathe. The pacing feels like the game is terrified that you won't understand it, so it tries to explain everything up front before you even had the chance to care, like handing someone a user manual before letting them touch the controller. And Nick, to his credit, still tries to meet it halfway, but then he just says it plainly. The beginning sucks, not because there is no depth, but because the game is so busy trying to prove how deep it is that it forgets to be fun. And look, he is not demanding instant fireworks, right? There is no rhythm to the early hours. He even says the story has potential, but right now it is not doing the heavy lifting. Wuthering Waves, by contrast, didn't need to over-explain. It trusted players to figure things out through context, not exposition. And that confidence, that restraint, it's what let its intro actually land. So when Nick finally snaps a little, it is not just about the game, it is about the whole experience. Playing something new, live, with a crowd that doesn't know how to shut up, and it taps into this deeper philosophy that he has. That discovery is the whole point. He talks about learning math alone in his room, how he could sit there and wrestle with a problem for hours, but put him in a classroom and it all falls apart. Too many voices, he said. Too much pressure to get it right away.
Like, I don't want to ask like Tectone, how do I play ZZZ? Like I said, I'm not too crazy about like help. You know, I like doing everything kind of like by myself.
True.
And if I can't learn by myself, I just get like agitated and I just drop it. That's how I am as a person. It sucks. Sometimes it's the downfall of me, but that's how I am.
Imagine somebody playing a single player game in the way that they want. Crazy. A person playing a single player game where their progression and their decisions have absolutely no impact on you. Imagine them playing the way that they want to. The ZZZ community on Twitch literally cannot fathom that. They start having a mental breakdown at the mere suggestion that somebody plays the game in a way that they don't want to play it.
I feel like with Wuthering Waves, I understood it and I learned by myself. And Tectone helped like telling me who to get. You guys told me as well. But overall, like, it's something I was doing by myself, and I really loved it.
And that is exactly what this felt like. He wants to fumble. He wants to press the wrong button, die in a tutorial, and figure it out later. And that is how things stick to him. And the irony is, when he is enjoying a game like in WUWA, chat doesn't even feel the need to step in. They're chill. They drop the occasional tip, but it is not invasive, because he is already engaged. He is not floundering. He is exploring.
You want to know when people read their chat? When they don't really give a shit about what's on the screen, about what they're watching or what they're playing. That's when they read the chat. You guys remember the Mr. Pokey situation? Where he said that the WUWA community ruined his Genshin Impact like 5.3 story experience? I think Sarah's in the chat. What happened to Mr. Pokey was that he had Genshin fans shitting on Wuthering Waves the entire time he played the 2.0 story. He was just too engaged with the 2.0 story to ever read chat while that was happening. And so he assumed that nobody was talking during the 2.0 part. The WUWA 2.0 part. On the flip side, Genshin 5.3 was so dog shit that he was never paying attention to the story or their gameplay, constantly reading chat, and it was just the same exact responses, just flipped. So instead of Genshin fans bagging on WUWA, it was WUWA fans bagging on Genshin. And then because 5.3 was actually shit, all he could do was read chat and then start having a mental breakdown and blaming Wuthering Waves. When the same exact thing was happening just the other day. He just didn't know it was because he was actually playing a good game.
Difference is everything. When you are locked in, the help feels optional. When you are lost, help feels like noise. And if there is anything that really triggered him, it is that chat didn't seem to understand the difference. There's also this weird performative elitism that creeps in anytime a streamer touches a new gacha game, and it is honestly kind of pathetic. And acting like not knowing the perfect rotations after 5 minutes is some kind of moral failing. Like, bro, it is a gacha game. Most of the skill expression here boils down to how many 50-50s you've lost and how deep your wallet goes. And the worst part, it is not even about helping. It is not advice. It is a weird little dance people do for attention. A way to signal, I have been.
Oh no! He's 10 hours into the game and still using a Chang Li blindfold ultimate! We need to tell him to stop immediately! Let's read what his chat is actually saying when he does a blindfold ultimate.
In here longer than you. As if that makes them important. It is like watching someone brag about.
Nobody said a single thing. He literally actually does one of the biggest misplays you can do on the character. And his chat doesn't say a single fucking thing. That is the difference in the communities. What's the misplay? So when Chang Li has a full Forte circuit, right? She gains a blindfold. And when you use an ultimate, you regain full Forte circuit charge. And so doing a blindfolded ultimate means that you're wasting a full Forte circuit. which is like bad, right? You're wasting a full resource. It's literally the biggest misplay you can do on this character, and nobody cares.
Awaits a signal. I have been here longer than you. As if that makes them important. It is like watching someone brag about their
Nobody said a single thing in his chat. It's like Miyabi ulting at 6 stacks.
Credit score to a high school freshman. Technically impressive, but nobody asked. The irony is, these communities need new players. Gacha games bleed players.
Peak aerial dodge. Bro needs to experience holograms. Try holograms. I know, right? That was crazy. He done the hardest dodge. That is the level of backseating that you get because Wuthering Waves players are just, let's be honest here, way better as a fucking community than the ZZZ ones on Twitch. So it's just, imagine that he's making mistakes like that 20 hours into the fucking game and nobody cares. And then ZZZ players are shitting on you during the tutorials. He is objectively fucking up 20 hours into the game. Nobody says anything, and ZZZ players are shitting on him during the tutorial of the fucking game for not knowing the mechanics. Brother, why would anyone want to pick up and stream ZZZ, bro? This is the same community that decided to rally around the Kara-canceling, glue-eating master because he decided to backseat the first time I ever played units on stream. And he made an entire 20-minute video to talk about how bad I am at the game. And this community of ZZZ players rallied around him and justified the takes and making that type of content by saying shit like,
"Oh, you should have read all the kits before going into the Shiyu defense and trying out the characters. You should have understood every single interaction, every single switch, every single mechanic before even touching the keyboard. And daring to show those characters on stream."
What a bunch of fucking losers, man. Genuinely. This is why nobody wants to play this game on stream. This is why these are the fucking viewer statistics. Because people are fucking tired of dealing with the equivalent of a digital daycare. Because the only people left playing this game and talking about it on Twitch have the fucking mental maturity of actual 15-year-olds. It's insane. It's crazy. You've managed to fucking ostracize and get multiple new CCs for this game to just quit. They just quit because they don't want to deal with you kids. They stop playing. Why do you think there are so many that you backseated multiple creators into stopping streaming the game? I have never seen a community do it to this many people this quickly and this easily. Like, you did it to Sekapoko, then immediately did it again to Nick. And holy shit, I don't think it's gonna be good when he tries to pick up the game again. I think it's just gonna happen again. Legitimately. I don't want to jinx it. I feel like it's just gonna happen again because this community is legitimately full of stupid idiots, especially on this fucking Twitch platform.
Over time. You don't keep a gacha game alive. You don't keep a game alive by chasing out everybody who is still learning the game. So when you see someone just discovering the game and your first instinct is to mock them for not knowing the optimal build, congratulations. You are not protecting the game. You are helping it rot. If you really love
So true.
the game, you would want people to enjoy it, especially if they're bad
I'm glad someone's putting this into video format like this.
at first, because that is how it starts. Nobody's ever fell in love with a system that made them feel stupid on day one, especially with a chat that makes them feel stupid on day one. Come on, man. So when Nick says,
I feel like I care about the game enough to at least give it a shot and to try to learn about it, right? I love the world, I love the characters, and I love the gameplay. I'm just a little intimidated by like how much there is to learn, like with all of the things on the screen right now, and the story is not like, of course it's a tutorial story right now, but yeah, so I think it has potential. I think it has potential for me to like it because I really love the characters. Like, jiggles aside, I think the characters look fucking awesome. Woodwood 2.0 trailer.
and then tweets a few hours later that he has basically already dropped it, you can feel the frustration behind that decision. It is not rage quit energy, it is disappointment. It is that
Yeah, so he did make out a tweet saying he dropped it.
specific kind of letdown where you want it to be proven wrong and just weren't. And the part that really hits is when he says maybe he will give Genshin a try instead. Like,
I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. This isn't me trying to start drama, I don't even want to play Genshin. I don't even want to play any other games right now, bro. I just want to like focus on this. Like, it's crazy, man. I'm like obsessed with this game. I haven't even scratched the surface of it yet. All I'm doing is playing the main quests and spending my money. Like, I just want to play this goddamn game, bro.
I want to see Nicholas Light turn into a quick swap demon. I feel like he'll actually do it. I feel like he'll actually, like, try to play, like, some quick swap fucking team comps. He's gonna pull Lupa. He's gonna pull Lupa, Chang, Li, and Brant and master that team. I feel like he's actually gonna do that. If he hasn't pulled Brant yet... Oh, he has Brant? Oh, so the Woo-Wah community actually gave him, like, good advice. And he pulled Brant. So the Woo-Wah community was able to understand what he wanted to do. And so he pulled Brant, Chang, Li, and he's probably gonna follow up with Lupa. Okay. I feel like I already knew what he wanted. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. He's gonna probably he's gonna grind that fucking team.
About to become a Woo-Wah creator.
Like, he wanted this to be his thing, right? And now he is just like settling. And that sucks because Zenless Zone Zero actually had him. He liked the trailers. He wanted to get into the combat. He even sat through the info dumps and the tutorial overload. But by the time it was all done, between the pacing, the structure, the chat noise, it just didn't stick. And what that really shows is how fragile most impressions are. This wasn't about a game balance or late game content. This wasn't even about monetization. This was about the very beginning, the part that is supposed to invite you in, and the chat pushed him away. Not because he wasn't interested, but because the game didn't know how to let him be. So here is the bottom line. Zenless Zone Zero has a good game buried under layers of noise, but it is not just the tutorials, it is not just the pacing, it is the community that thinks that they are the main characters. You've got people treating streamers like test subjects, and new players like interns, acting like them playing since launch gives them divine authority. Like, bro, you are not the developer, you are not a coach, you just played the game earlier, and somehow let that go to your head.
I like to think that anyone that's stuck through ZZZ's launch has a couple of screws loose. If you're somebody that played through all of 1.0 with the TVs and stuck through the entire thing as the game was in one of the worst states I've ever seen a gacha, and like you never quit and you never came back, yeah, there's actually probably something wrong with you. I think most normal people, well-adjusted people in the community quit from like 1.1 to like 1.3 and then came back in 1.4. I think that if you played from 1.0 all the way to the end of 1.3, there's probably actually something wrong with you. I'm not even joking. I'm genuine. I'm actually serious. Because it was like legitimately a bad fucking game for at least 3 version updates. It was like actually bad for 3 version updates. 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3, not good. Actually not good.
Slash, correcting someone in chat doesn't make you smart, and doing it over and over again makes you annoying. Nobody's impressed that you know what the Bangbu does. No one's handing out medals for knowing how to cancel animations. You are not gatekeeping a fighting game tournament, you are gatekeeping a gacha game with furries in it. The irony, these elitists think that they're the lifeblood of the game, but they are the exact reason why people bounce off it, why people won't play it. Nick
Same as I think with PGR.
Didn't drop Zenless Zone Zero because the game was bad. He dropped it because the experience trying to enjoy it was exhausting. And he's probably not the only one either. If the community doesn't chill out, it won't matter how polished Zenless Zone Zero gets, because nobody wants to hang around a fandom that acts like it's allergic to beginners.
Yep. I think that this is one of the best videos that Glaive has ever made, to be honest. I do legitimately think this is the best one one of the best ones he's ever made, because it hits the nail on the head regarding all of the big issues that are present in this fucking community. And I don't know where this narrative came from that the ZZZ community is like good, that it has no issues, that it has no problems, when it literally has a track record of exiling streamers, CCs from the game. You critique it. You get told that you're just a Kurobot, that your critique means nothing, and that you're just hating the game. And so when the game objectively does bad things like adding miasma shields, oh, he's just hating the game. He's just rage baiting. We shouldn't listen to him. Hey, just let them keep doing predatory shit. When you're new to the game, they start backseating you to fucking oblivion to the point where nobody new wants to join. And God forbid you aren't already an established CC when it comes to this shit. Because guess what? You want to know what every single ZZZ guide maker has? And this is where I'll maybe put on the tinfoil hat a little bit. Every single ZZZ guide maker has early access. And you want to know what the finicky thing about early access is? Why do you think none of these creators with early access have criticized the miasma shields? Maybe because if they get on Hoyo's bad side, their career is effectively over in the ZZZ space. Because if they get early access pulled away from them, every other CC has early access. And they're the only one that doesn't. Every other CC gets early access, and they are the only one that doesn't get it. What do you think is going to happen to their guides? What do you think is going to happen to their channel? You tell me, brother boys. You tell me, brother boys. Career's over, right? So yeah, I wouldn't critique the miasma shields either. If I was in their shoes. Yeah, I can't bite the hand that feeds you. And Hoyo's making sure that they feed every single one of these CCs. So yeah, I think ZZZ is in a bit of an impasse. I think it's in a tough spot. And of course, with the community rallying around attacking every single creator that happens to critique their game, well, soon the critiques will stop as well. And then the game's going down the fucking gutter. So with that, let me know what you all think. Peace.